If you're making a Nightblade on ESO, make sure to use leather armor. It's made of hide. What's going on, YouTube? Just a quick reminder before we jump into things that if you log in for one day in the month of January, you get access to 1,000 Seals of Endeavors. You also can get access to some other neat things. Notably, you can get some Nordic display items, which are pretty neat, but I wanted to make sure everybody knew, log in at least for one day, get your 1,000 Seals of Endeavor, and then go buy yourself a mount that has ideally 4 swords that come off the sides of it. But before we jump into it, we are less than 90 subscribers away from 26,000, so please hit the subscribe button, and while you're there, hit the like button, and let's jump into it. But notably, I wanted to break down the Crown Store. Now, a lot of people are like, Jake, why do you break down the Crown Store? And that's because there's actually some farms that take place outside of the Crown Store based on what is in the Crown Store. If you've not done a Crown Store review video before, it's a bit confusing, a bit cattywampus, as the kids say, but they also say that there's a plethora of deals. Now, I want to give you guys a quick story here as we scroll through these items, that my friend Travis hates the word plethora, because every time I would try to sound smart like 5 years ago, I would just slip in the word plethora. I'd be like, there's a plethora of things to do today. So this is your free item, which is Sanguine. Now, are they teasing us that Sanguine is going to be directly involved in the first season? I think that they are. I think this is a clue that Sanguine will be involved. And to be fair, Sanguine is probably the coolest Daedric prince outside of Sheogorath, but that's like, you can't compare them together. The dude literally married you to a hag raven inside of Skyrim. Spoilers. After that, you're also able to go out and purchase the Sul'Zan motif, which some of you guys are probably already commenting below right now how you actually pronounce it. This one is already able to be gotten from Rockgrove. It's a pretty easy to attain. Now, one of the other items you're also able to get is the style that I'm just not even going to try it, because then everyone's going to comment below how it's actually pronounced. So just jump to conclusions. You can comment below how it's actually pronounced. We'll call this the T style, and it makes you look like a pretty cool samurai. Now, this is available until January 6th. The reason that I'm actually stopping to identify this versus just like going right past it is that this is only 2,200 crowns, and if you have ESO Plus, it's 1,760. But if you play on console, which over 60% of you do, crowns are only about 200 gold to 1, meaning that for just a couple 100,000 gold, just under $500,000, you could have this samurai-looking style if you're interested in buying it with gold. It's a decent value. Unfortunately, PC, the math is not as good for you guys, but overall, it's a cool-looking style. Next up is the Sul'Zan motif. This one notably drops from Rockgrove. Now, do not be confused. You can always get this style. It does not drop just because it's in the Crown Store from this time period. You can always purchase it on the market if people are selling it. Whether or not it's on the ESO market usually just depends, like other events that are giving, a bunch of motifs. Are there any reason that people will be farming Rockgrove, yada, yada. It's a cool looking style if you want to look kind of Argonian-esque. Then we have the Dragon Guard style, which is very easy to get. You can find this on the ESO market very cheaply. You could find it from the Dragon Guard supply cache, which is awarded for completing dragon hunts, delve quests, and from all the other sanctum areas inside Southern Elsewhere. So this is, unfortunately, is all over the place. If you see this, you're like, man, this looks pretty swagadocious. You just go buy it. Savara, or Cyrabanic Marine. Now, this one's going to be available for just 3 days, January 27th to January 30th. This one drops from Dreadcell Wreath. Notably, this one's not on the market as much. Does that mean you should purchase it? It's probably going to be like 5,000 crowns. So about, 1 million gold if you're able to get 200, gold to crown ratio. So if you can find somebody to do that, that's a great value, because the full book is worth a few million gold, even on console. On PC, I don't know how prevalent this motif style is, but overall, it's a really cool looking one. It's unfortunately not as plentiful. There's not a plethora of them like the other ones. And now here's where we have our first thick, juicy, easy farm for people to complete, and it starts January 6th. Now, this is the Naranith Arms Pack. We're just going to pretend I pronounced that correctly and move on. So the Arms Pack is going to be available from January 6th through January 9th. Then you might be thinking to yourself, Jake, I don't need any blue flamey weapons. We're not here to talk about the weapons. The weapons, whatever. We're here to talk about the fact that you can now farm the monster style mask as well as the monster style shoulder from 2 different areas when this is in store. So from January 6th through January 9th, the matching mask page will have a small chance to drop from the Veteran Crypt of Hearts 2, and the matching shoulder page can be purchased from the Redbeard for 50 Undaunted keys, or you can use the 1 key mystery coffer for also a chance to get it. Having the achievement, the Blade's Edge, increases the drop chance of both of these items. This is what confuses everybody right here, that last sentence. Let's break down exactly what that means. It means that every time you complete the dungeon on Veteran, you have a chance to get the associated style page, which is just looks literally like this guy's head, right? If you want to have that helmet, you just need to farm it on Veteran. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Jake, how do I increase my odds? Well, you just need the achievement, the Blade's Edge, which is the hard mode clear for that dungeon. A lot of people think that they need to farm it on hard mode every single time, and that's giving them an odds boost. It does not. You just need the achievement one time, and that also translates to the key vendors as well. And this is how the shoulders work. You just meander on over to the Undaunted Enclave, talk to Mr. Redbeard, and you go to the store. At the very top, you will see, and again, this will only be from the 6th through the 9th of January, you're going to see 50 Undaunted keys. You could just straight up buy the shoulder, or as redisclosed, you can buy these 1 mystery key coffers. Now, should you buy the shoulder for the keys? Should you roll for the mystery coffers? Now, if you roll for the mystery coffers, you're always guaranteed to get other goodies, such as all these other styles here. They're non-curated, so you're just going to get a random shoulder if you buy the mystery one, including ones that you don't have. Some people think that because these ones are curated now, that this one is also curated. It's not. It could give you the same shoulders that you already have. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, you know, I don't really have a whole lot of monster shoulders, even though these are not the greatest monster sets to roll for, because each vendor here has different ones, it's okay to roll, you know, a couple Undaunted keys on it to see if you get the shoulder. We're going to break down the price next. Also, just keep in mind, too, you're going to be getting things like the Mercenary Motif chapters, which is just another style page that's actually really profitable. So if you do get that, the Harmony Trade or other such things too, as if you do roll for the mystery coffer, you do have decent odds to get some other things that sell for a decent chunk of gold. Notably, the Mercenary chest does look pretty good. And I hear you potentially pondering, is this worth it? Well, you can see that people are listing these for about 800,000 to about 1 million gold, with the lowest being 650,000 gold. I will tell you, though, that Crypt of Hearts is basically the blueberry pancake of running through a dungeon. You're not going to suffer at all. And the nice thing about this is it's only available for 3 days. So not only can you complete the dungeon incredibly quickly, there's not going to be a huge influx of supply, because not a lot of people are going to be super interested in farming Crypt of Hearts for just, you know, like 750,000 gold, meaning that if you're right in that sweet spot of people who are like 750,000 gold is a good chunk of gold to me, I would farm this. And this is why I like making these videos, is a lot of people will just go, Crypt of Hearts monster style, skip. But for you, if you're interested in getting some gold and just running an easy dungeon, this is one of the best gold methods to do. And currently there's only 1 shoulder that's listed, unfortunately, so it's hard to get an exact idea as to the value of these bad boys. We can see over time that they ranged from, you know, about 220,000, and now they're down to about 100,000, but the supply has been so low, it's a bit hard to tell. And we can go back in time to, you know, when they were about 600k. I think this was probably right around when you were able to farm these last, because you could see the supply is significantly higher here. So maybe you'd be interested in farming something like this. The shoulders are not nearly as good, because then you have to use your Undaunted keys, which are a premium currency. But when it comes to the actual monster style mask, to me, it's an easy farm. Crypt of Hearts, super easy, barely an inconvenience. And back to our regularly scheduled program, we have 2 Daedric artifacts, which admittedly, I don't remember where this axe is from. They say it comes from Clavicus Vile. I don't remember which game he gave you an axe, so sorry about that. I do know Dawnbreaker, though. I have heard of this weapon before. From the best Daedric Prince, Meridia. These items will also be available, but then boom, we get another arms pack. Now this one is very juicy. It's going to be available for just 3 days also, January 27th through January 30th. So if you farm Moongrave Fane on Veteran from January 27th through January 30th, everything we talked about the previous monster set, also still applies. So now you're able to get the style page for Grundwolf, which is notably a pretty valuable one. Even you can see all of these listings are within 4 or 5 hours ago. So people know, hey, you know, this is going to be back on. And if we click, we can still see there's only 4 of them listed. But what we're going to have to do sometimes is just check their value over time. And we can see, you know, 2 million and a low value of 1.7 million, which is still quite a good chunk of money for farming a dungeon. Moongrey Fane also has decent sets associated to it, so it's not, you know, the most terrible thing to farm to fill out your sticker book. But notably too, the shoulders from here are significantly better than the other one. And I wanted to wait to the second vendor to talk about this because previously we talked to Mr. Redbeard over there. Well, now we're talking to Urgalurk. Now, she will have, during that time period, a 50 Undaunted Key style shoulder at the top. But notably, when you use these vendors, you have a chance to get the monster set, the actual set, so not just the style that we would be rolling for the 50 keys. You might get, for example, Nazare, you know, medium shoulders. You might get the ones from Thurvakun. You'll notice that these shoulders are significantly better. They're still uncurated, but if you're going to get a whole bunch of like DLC monster set styles, I think that's actually a really good thing to roll on. Even if the value is not super different, which we'll look at here in a minute, this is still significantly better to fill out your sticker book. I mean, Earthcore, fantastic set. Even if you're like, Jake, what am I, a healer? I'm not a field fairy. Maybe one day you will be, and you'll already have the Earthcore shoulders that you need to build out that set. And you can see that these were listed very recently, so people know, like, hey guys, these are going to be listed up here soon because everyone's going to be able to farm it this month. They're still worth a few 100,000 gold, meaning that it's not really a bad way to build out the sticker book for getting all those actual monster pieces for the sets of all those DLC dungeons. And you have a chance to roll for the style page, which is the Grundwolf shoulder, if you do it between that time period. So overall, great farm. And then we get into our wardrobe attire. Now, none of this really tickles the pickle in the same way as the other stuff. Not as cool as the farm, so we're just going to kind of blow through this. I do actually like these tattoos. You guys may not know this, but like if you wear a tattoo and you have a skin that like glows, and you have tattoos that glows, it like creates this like cool color shift. So if you have tattoos and skins, feel free to do that. Not that I necessarily buy these, but it's just kind of cool to know that they have it. So we're going to have our Gloom Spore crates as well as our Iron Astronaut crates. That's just notable if you're interested in changing your Seals of Endeavors. We have the big boy furniture. We have a gigantic dragon statue. You can also make this bad boy breathe fire and lightning, I believe. I don't know why poison is the third option. You have our music, which is kind of neat. You have our Meridian statue. Is this also another clue that Meridia will be involved in the next DLC? Who knows? We're getting a lot of Dawnbreaker stuff, you know, so this could be a hint. We have Tyrants of the Mythic Era, and we have our Target Frost Astronaut. Some people do love to get this bad boy because he's one of the best, you know, coolest looking ones to put in your house, and he counts as a hardy veteran dungeon boss. So not as good as the other ones, but I mean, it's a gigantic Frost Astronaut, so, you know, it looks cool. More music boxes, gigantic statues, a house. I do like this house too. I always think it's cool that it's like very condensed. Houses that don't have gigantic courtyards, just very easy to decorate. Forge Master Falls, Frostvault Chasms, the Alien Ruins. We also get a new house guest, which is interesting. I was hoping that we would get his Flaming Sword. Unfortunately, not the case. But we get a Vampire Hunter. I'm curious if this is any sort of clue into what, you know, what will be coming next year. We also have a neat little looking Deconstructor. If you're a brand new player, I do think getting a Deconstructor is very helpful. If you're an end game or a mid game player, you generally could just teleport to a guild hall, front of your house, use your deconstruction benches, so it's not as helpful. Banker, I do love bankers, and you can have a you know, a little dog, which is neat. A gigantic frost lizard, a glowing saber cat, I don't even know what that is. An elk, if you're interested in an elk, a horse, a Sigic Sensual, a blue Oasis frog, and some of the polymorphs will be leaving the crown store, and I think that's because, actually, I don't know why they're doing that. I guess they're rebalancing, because you could buy these at the beginning, couldn't you? Yeah, I think these are at the very top. Maybe they're just turning into generic crown items, or what's happening with these. This was one of them, right? You could buy it with crown, gems, or seals of endeavors for a limited period of time. So maybe this is just leaving the crown store? I don't know. I don't know exactly how that will work for it. But everyone, that has been our monster farms for this month, as well as some potential clues for 2025. Love to see Sanguine. I do remember there's a hag. You marry a hag in that quest. There's something to do with a mammoth and a giant. All sorts of craziness go on, and I can't even remember. But if they base a season around Sanguine, I'll be the happiest person in the world. I don't care what zone we go to. It could be brand new zone, existing zone. I love Sanguine, and if you can include Meridia back into that again as well, double fantastic. So thank you guys again. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below before I tell you about the 3 giveaway drawings, which will also be posted on our community tab. There's been a lot of, not mean to streak, there's been a lot of conversation in the ESO community recently. I did make a community post regarding that, so if you do want to go see about some of the ESO stuff, the mumbo jumbo going on, head to my community tab inside of YouTube. And thank you guys for watching. We are doing our 3 giveaway drawings, which will also be announced later. All you need to do to enter is leave a comments below. Just tell me anything. You can also even comment on community posts. Every comment counts. It could be on anything. Second thing is just make sure you're subscribed. We are so close to 26,000 subscribers. If you could hit the subscribe button, that would mean the world to me. And the third thing is look for a hidden word to be flashed upon the screen. I told myself we're going to put it on a video kind of earlier in the month, you know, that because I feel like sometimes people watch the ones at the end of the month because they know the word hasn't been revealed yet. So this is your warning that it'll be on a video sooner in the month. So thank you guys again, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.